Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto live stream. Some of you might say, oh, you're a little bit late to the party. Yes, you know why? Because I sleep sometimes. that's the long story short. I sometimes have to sleep. This info was posted at 6 a.m. and you guys know my last video of today was at around, I don't even know anymore, but I think I went to bed at, let's say, about 5 or 6. And so, I woke up a little bit ago, already got a couple of tweets in, but I didn't get to this info just quite yet. So you might call it late, I call it as soon as possible, All right, so what just happened is the SEC has fired back a little bit. And today I want to cover that. It's interesting. It is really interesting. However, it's actually kind of a small punch back. And I'm not sure if this is done deliberately just before the lawsuit started, like the hearing itself. But let's put a couple of things on the table really quickly. All right. One, I will be live streaming in about 2 hours from now. And then we're going to basically discuss everything regarding the hearing of later. So if you're wondering, guys, once more, in about 2 hours from now, there will be a live stream. And in about, I think, 3.5 hours from now, the hearing is going to be, because it's going to be 6 p.m. Amsterdam time, 5 p.m. London time. 5 p.m. London time, 6 p.m. Amsterdam time, and we'll be streaming from about 4:30 Amsterdam time, about 1.5 hour up front, to discuss some stuff, to check what the price is doing and whatnot. And right now, there's just some info that came out a couple of hours ago that I have not discussed just quite yet that I needed to get to, all right? So, once more, the SEC v. Ripple. SEC has filed a motion to compel Ripple to produce video and audio recordings of Ripple staff meetings it claims to have learned about from a key former Ripple employee. Ooh, so somebody snitched on him. Ripple staff meetings, right? There are a couple of these. There's a ton of them because it's a company. But apparently, the SEC has learned something about these Ripple staff meetings in a key former Ripple employee's deposition earlier this month. So once more, guys, one person within Ripple either snitched on them or just gave them info, which has left Ripple to want more info. Let's check it out. So XRP Hutchie says, this is all a game. It's even more obvious now. The SEC will want cameras in Rosa Rios' bathroom. Okay, that's significant. Okay, let's see, however. It was down below here. Somebody actually got this information. So Jimbo says another fishing expedition. Kind of feels like that. The SEC always trying to fish some new information. David Brookfield said, deflection from the fact that the SEC is refusing to hand over documents and they want to keep the pressure on Ripple. They're desperate. The pressure their end must be intolerable as their own lives are unraveling. But I still think it goes to fair notice in February, March. Okay. But let's see the most important part. So Matthew Betts asks, is this ex-employee still selling XRP? Obviously kind of a jab at Jed McCaleb, right? Because, well, I mean, Jed McCaleb, I think he also got deposed. Yet, apparently, all the money here says, Real Lisa Daily, from the brief, it states it was Antoinette Gorham, ex-chief compliance officer. She now is working at Polysign, which is the venture of David Schwartz and whatnot. I don't believe it was told out of any malice, though, because most likely these guys were asked, let's say, 500 questions, and one of them was just like, did you learn anything about the status of XRP in a Ripple meeting, right? Like something like that. And she said yes, and now the SEC is like, hey, we got him. My policy is, if you're asked, answer truthfully, but never volunteer any info or it will be used against you. And most likely, she just answered whatever she could. But let's dive a little bit into it, right? So the SEC respectfully requests a conference. And once more, a conference like this basically works like the SEC brings up an argument, Ripple responds, and the SEC kind of counters that one. And then the other side may reply once more, but that's what's happening right here. So they respectfully request a conference with the court to seek an order compelling defendants Ripple Labs to produce relevant video and audio tape recordings of the meetings described in Exhibit A to this letter among current and former Ripple executives and key employees. So 2 parts. 1 is what we have down below here, and 2 is Exhibit A, which we need to check out. At Ripple's request, that's even odd, right? The SEC identified specific categories of meetings from Ripple's document production to help it narrow the search parameters for the recordings, including all hands meetings, town hall meetings, and fireside chats. Examples of relevant all-hands meetings are listed in Exhibit A, include XRP Markets all-hand meetings, quarterly and weekly engineering all-hand meetings, and 2019 GTM Approach weekly all-hand meetings. What is this supposed to be? 2019 GTM Approach weekly all-hand meeting. Let me actually type it in on the side here. Once more, guys, whenever I do a live stream like this, it's to also uncover more information so we actually have a better way of viewing this. Like, whenever I do a video, you guys know I have all the facts ready, and everything I can tell you, I'll tell you. In a live stream like this, we can also sometimes do a little bit of digging because I have a chat, so if I don't know where to find something, hopefully some of you guys can find it. But all I'm finding here is just from a couple of hours ago, people coming to the same conclusion. SEC pushes for recordings of Ripple executive meetings with employees, and they're also talking about the GTM. Oh, I just pressed this by accident. Let's check it out, guys. So GTM, what is that supposed to be? Rothboss coming in with the $5. Thank you very much, my friend. XRP gang. Morning, everyone. Yes, for me already it's about 2:44 p.m., but good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good everything. Where are you guys all watching from right now? I'm recording this from Amsterdam. Roberto says GTM is a marketing strategy. Okay. So, once more, general time measure. But that has to do with marketing then? Because, honestly speaking, if it's marketing again, that's an interesting strategy. Because, wait, you guys are saying no? Let me quickly see what you guys are saying about that GTM part. If it has to do, okay, go to market. You guys are all saying different names, guys. Let me type in once more GTM meeting. GTM meeting. Let me see what it says. GoToMeeting is a web-hosted service created and marketed by LogMeIn. It's an online meeting desktop sharing and video conference software. Okay, so it's nothing actually too specific. It's just a place where they can come to do a conference, basically. You guys saying go to market. We're not sure if that's the case, actually. Because GTM is also a company that allows for these meetings. So I'm not sure exactly which of the two it is. Some of the relevant town hall meetings listed in Exhibit A include a December 26, 2018 discussion of company outlook amid risk of a drop in XRP price, and a December 22nd, 2020 meeting to discuss the SEC investigation. All right, so let's quickly check out Exhibit A, shouldn't we? So it's all the way down below here. Oh, it's going to be a big email, I guess. So this is what the SEC is looking for over at Ripple, right? They want a lot of information from Ripple, guys. They want a ton of info. They want all quarterly all-hands meetings beginning Q4 of 2014. Interesting. Spring and Ripple X all-hand meetings, so some of the subsidiaries of Ripple. Finance all-hand meetings, XRP Markets all-hands, quarterly and weekly engineering all-hands, SBI town halls. From 2019. Oh, no, that's when they mentioned the town hall, okay? A quarterly business review. That's what they want in the general categories of all-hand meetings referenced in Ripple production, okay? So this is not too crazy, though, right? It's nothing too special, nothing too strange. They also want the specific meetings. Code of Conduct all-hands, Wallet Sent and Prisma all-hands, 2019 GTM Approach weekly all-hands, November all-hands with takeaways, and the following town halls. Meeting to specifically discuss the SEC investigation. We also note that this meeting appears to have been open to third parties. So they want that from exactly the day they got sued. And a couple of years prior, discussion of company outlook amid risk of a drop in XRP price. From some perspective, I do wonder how the frick they knew about this meeting. How did they know that they were discussing the drop of price in that meeting? They also want town hall with Brad Garlinghouse discussing XRP and centralized currencies, and specific town halls referenced down below here. They also want the following fireside chats: Stone Ridge fireside chat, Garlinghouse meetings in New York discussing his thoughts on the SEC looking into crypto. And some others are the compensation committee meeting, thread on trading XRP for shares. I wonder what this one is about. Thread on trading XRP for shares. Discussion of option structure for XRP in 2017. Okay. And market maker contracts for XRP. Those are, from an honest perspective, you guys understand, right? I think this is going to be the most interesting out of it all. my own thoughts. Like the last part. These are all really interesting points. I have no idea what can be discussed in them. But then again, this is just what we have for right now. There's a couple of other exhibits. Like here's another meeting part. This is by the SEC side of things. But let's continue on for right now. All right, we could actually just quickly cover the points because you guys are most likely wondering about that. Where did we end off, though? We ended off at footnote 1. Let's read this, and then we'll go over the points. Despite the SEC's request for relevant recordings in its very first documented request to Ripple in January of 2021, Ripple never informed the SEC that Ripple routinely recorded staff meetings until a key former Ripple employee testified to that in her deposition earlier this month. As described in more detail below. Upon learning of the recording's existence, the SEC has tried to obtain relevant recording without the court's involvement, but those efforts have proven unsuccessful, and the parties are now at an impasse. Ripple has stated that it will only produce the recordings described on Exhibit A if the SEC forfeits its right to seek to obtain any relevant and responsive recordings that the SEC may later learn about, including from the September depositions of individual defendants Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, or from any additional documents Ripple or the individual defendants produce in this litigation. So, given that Ripple has not produced a single recording to date, Ripple should not be permitted to condition its compliance with its discovery obligations on the SEC's forbearance of the right to seek documents that the SEC does not yet know of through no fault of its own. Now, that refers to the fact that Ripple has never made public that they have recordings of these meetings until they got to a deposition earlier this month, or last month, basically. And so now that they're requesting them, Ripple's like, well, we want to give them to you as long as you don't ask for more later. So we're fine with giving it to you as long as you're saying, hey, this is what we want, and we're done with that. And if you learn about more documents in the future, we don't want to give it to you anymore. If you can agree to that, we're good. So I guess Ripple's given a toe, right? And SEC wants the entire freaking hand. Understandable from the SEC side, but Ripple's not really falling for that trick. And footnote said, the party's impasse over the SEC's request for Ripple's internal recordings is emblematic of Ripple's failure to comply with its discovery obligations. Earlier this month, the SEC filed a motion to compel the production of relevant communications between Ripple employees on the Slack app after Ripple reneged on its original agreement to search for and produce the relevant Slack messages. So this is referring to the previous, still ongoing, by the way, motion to compel Slack communications. Right now, there's a couple of things open. We have the SEC having opened a motion to compel the Slack communications, and now a new motion to compel the turnover of video and audio recordings. On Ripple's side, we have two motions to compel as well. They're basically asking for the deliberative process privilege to be thrown out the window or discussed, or at least for Ripple basically to get info. And they're asking the SEC for the insider trading policies on whether SEC members could trade and whatnot. It's interesting to me how this is done so late throughout the fact discovery. Then again, I think it's all relevant. I think it is. But today, officially, is the last day of fact discovery. All right, so let's quickly check it out. Discovery has revealed that in 2016, Larson asked Ripple's chief compliance officer, Antoinette O'Gorman, who is not an attorney, blank. When the SEC inquired about this presentation during O'Gorman's deposition, so she's the snitch, theoretically speaking, right? On August 4th, earlier this month, O'Gorman revealed that the SEC for the first time in this litigation that Ripple routinely recorded staff meetings. A couple of fun facts to say. One, the SEC has done like how many? 40 depositions by now, or some crazy number. And so it is only now, somewhere throughout August, after doing so many depositions, that somebody finally spilled the beans, which is interesting to me. By the way, guys, if you're watching right now, I'm doing my best to get this content to you guys as soon as freaking possible. Sometimes I'm a little bit late. You can see this info was out for like 7 hours already or so, but I do my best. Make sure you press that like button. Why? Well, it helps with the YouTube algorithm a little bit. It doesn't give me any money, doesn't do too much for me, doesn't make my bells tingle too much. It's literally just so more people might get this live stream or video recommended to them. That is it. And welcome, Nomadic, to the chat box. Welcome, everybody, by the way. The SEC immediately requested that Ripple confirm it had searched for and produced responsive recordings, given that the SEC had specifically requested them on January 25th, shortly after discovery began. But Ripple informed the SEC that it had not done so, and then refused to do so, despite acknowledging that Ripple maintains several categories of recordings, including all-hand meetings, training, panels, and weekly meetings. Now Ripple's most likely thinking back like, oh damn, we're dumbasses. Because, I mean, if they didn't record it, they didn't have nothing to give, right? And I do sometimes wonder as well why you record that type of stuff. I mean, I guess Ripple knew they were not doing anything wrong, right? Because if you know you're doing something wrong, why would you keep those recordings? Now, you're a dumbass, in my opinion, too. In an effort to streamline Ripple's search and lessen its burden, the SEC significantly narrowed its request to the categories of meetings described in Exhibit A. Well, I mean, it's still a lot of things, though. Most likely to be relevant, but Ripple has not produced any of these recordings, which may be highly relevant to both the SEC's claims under Howey and defendants' defenses regarding their state of mind and whose production is proportional to the needs of the case when weighed against the issue at stake in this litigation. Accordingly, Ripple should be compelled to promptly produce any relevant and non-privileged recordings of the meetings at issue to the SEC. All right. Not too bad, though. I mean, this entire debacle is just Ripple requesting info from the SEC and the SEC requesting info from Ripple. It's kind of a usual thing. I'm not too amazed by all this stuff. Are you guys amazed by this? I don't really think so. It's just interesting to me that it came out on August 4th. It's like, usually these discussions are really, done a lot sooner. Here's the last day of the discovery. They're starting another new conference. And guys, you all know how a conference works by now. A conference allows for multiple different dates. And I really thought that the last date by now would have been, let me quickly see if I can find it here. I really hope the last date would have been September 3rd for our initial reply. Because right now the schedule, how it looks like, is we have Ripple putting up the last motion to compel, with September 3rd being the deadline for SEC's response, and then basically Ripple responded to that once more. I thought that was the end, because we also have 2 depositions of Brett Gullinghast and Chris Larson in September, but I thought it would be kind of done for. Nope, not the case though. The SEC is starting a new conference now, which basically means Ripple might have another week to respond to that, which means the SEC might have another week to respond to that one. Could be a little bit annoying, because it's going to go really a lot further than. And the SEC is it's kind of a stalling type of thing, right? Because this will also push back everything a little bit, maybe, depending on what the burden is, but might be a heavy burden. I'm not sure exactly. It also depends on whether or not those Slack communications are admitted, because that's going to be such a heavy burden that things might be pushed a little bit further as well. But once more, the dates themselves will not really move too much, but the decisions might move a little bit. Because, for example, the motion to strike will have to wait on some of the earlier decisions, but the decisions cannot be made if the documents have not been, put up all the way. KMK Vlog says, how could we know the information if the SEC don't allow the recording to the YouTubers? I have no idea what you mean, my friend. And JC Voslo says, hopefully the judge shuts this down tonight. Sick and tired of Gary and his clowns. I understand what you're saying. I'm not really too positive on that, though. What I'm hoping for later tonight, if you're wondering, is I'm hoping she's just going to make a decision where she says, you know what, Ripple, I've already ordered the court twice to hand over this information. This is taking way too long, and the SEC is holding this information back for no good purpose. Here, you're admitted to get all this info, boom, bam, bam. And then I really kind of hope as well, small chance though, but I hope that the SEC is not going to take it, and they're going to come to a settlement because they just cannot give that information over because they know they would lose. That's my what I really hope for. Once more, it's not a certainty, but it's my hope. Everybody can have hopes. Let's quickly see. It was not until the SEC took O'Gorman's deposition that the SEC learned that Ripple had in fact recorded meetings on a regular basis. At a deposition, O'Gorman testified that blank. We don't know what she snitched on. Once more, guys, don't take this too harshly, because snitching is also difficult to say. You most likely already know by now that she's been asked, most likely. You can see here, right? We're seeing the amount of lines, most likely, that this deposition took on for. There's been at least 500. I'm going to say there's been like 500 questions, but it could be that this deposition was 338 pages long, at least. All right, maybe even 400 pages long. So that she spills some beans like that, I don't really think it's too crazy either. And as we saw, most likely she's just spreading the truth. But they also, there's a quote here of a company-wide Wikipedia-like platform. What's that? While they did not specifically testify about record, for example, Ryan Zagone, Ripple's head of regulatory affairs, blank. See the Zagone deposition at another page 150. David Swartz, Ripple CTO, said or something. And then we have also Michael VS, Ripple's former head of XP Markets. There's so much interesting stuff in these depositions too, which we are not allowed to see. That's too bad. Eventually, maybe. And for each of these meetings, neither Ripple nor the deponent mentioned that recordings of those meetings might exist until O'Gorman, a former Ripple employee, testified about the recording. So here's the points. Ripple's failure to produce the recordings is just the SEC's initial point, right? They're basically saying, well, Ripple should have given them, but they didn't, so we want them. We already asked a long time ago to get everything from them, and I mean, now we're kind of coming back on that one. That is split up into 2 points. Also, the SEC's request for recordings of internal meetings is proportional to the needs of the case. Obviously, that's the truth, though. I'm not going to lie to you. Where the SEC is saying that the request for these recordings is proportional, that's true. I mean, asking for, let's say, for example, 50 recordings, that's not too odd, to be honest with you. It's not like it costs $1 billion or so. And they're also explaining here that this entire lawsuit is so many billions of dollars worth that, yeah, I do get that that is proportional. It, however, or at least in my opinion, it questions whether or not it's relevant. Now, let's quickly move on, though, because this is all kind of the same thing like we've been covering before. They're basically saying, oh, it factors into our Howie perspective. Should we actually read it, by the way? I think it's actually only like 2.5 pages. You know, we'll just read it through. It's 2.5 pages. If you don't want it, just come back later to the channel. All right, I'll give you a summary later on. On August 5th, the day after Gorman's deposition, the parties met and conferred about Ripple's failure to produce the recordings. On August 8th, the SEC requested that Ripple search for and produce the recordings of video and audio of these all-hand meetings, as well as the recordings that Ripple made accessible on Ripple's Confluence system. See Exhibit 1 over Example I? Oh, Exhibit I, okay. It's actually, we're already at Exhibit I. There's a lot of exhibits down below then. You can see it's 37 pages, while this motion is only 5. Waxman email dated August 8th. In response, Ripple claimed that the request was tardy, even though the SEC had requested such recordings on January 25th. I mean, I can understand why you think it's tardy. It's the August 31st. And that this would require that Ripple prepare transcriptions of thousands of internal meetings and review many hours of recordings, which is 50-50. Ripple acknowledged that the recordings exist in an August 12th email, including recordings of all hands meetings, training panels, and weekly meetings, but declined to produce them. Ripple claimed that the SEC had not shown that the recordings contain discussions that are relevant, and again stressed or asserted how difficult searching recordings for relevant evidence is. Nonetheless, Ripple requested that the SEC narrow its request, and the SEC obliged by narrowing its request to 5 categories of meetings, including Ripple's marketing and communications team meetings. Aha! We already have them there on this part. Again, guys, the theory that Jeremy Hogan put up is taking a lot more relevance here once more. All right? Wait a minute. Because they're saying Ripple's marketing and communications team meetings. The SEC has really, like I said yesterday as well, they really changed their perspective a little bit from going for the entire XRP as a security thing to how they marketed it and how they thought about it. Are you guys seeing that too? Otherwise, why would you ever want Ripple's marketing team meetings? Because that doesn't matter, right? The marketing is not that relevant. Well, it is now to the SEC strategy. So really, that shift, like Jeremy Hogan and even also the channel I've said before, it really is looking to be that way. They also want XRP working group meetings, weekly sales of XRP market team, and something else which we cannot see. I also really wonder how that works. Why do they not want us to see what they're requesting from Ripple? If you're trying to request information, why is the specific category of meetings not open to the public that you're requesting to get info from? That's interesting to me. Really strange. Once more, I understand that a lot of these parts are blacked out. Don't get me wrong. I understand it fully. Like, for example, if any of these guys said something in the deposition, I get it. But in this specific case here, they're requesting different sorts of meetings for Ripple. There's 5 of them, and we're only seeing 3, right? No, yeah, 1, 2, 3. We're not seeing 4 and 5, if I'm not mistaken. That is strange to me. I don't exactly understand why we cannot see category 4 and 5 as to what they want to get. Now, the SEC's efforts to because wait, let's actually check it back too, because we're seeing they want Ripple's marketing communications, working group, and weekly sales. We're seeing here they want 1, 2. Or is this the 5 categories? I'm not sure how that's supposed to work. General categories of all hands meetings, the following specific ones. I'm not sure how the categories actually hold up in this specific sense. He's saying in the email as well. Let's quickly see if we can actually find that specifically. I'm not sure where it's supposed to be, which exhibit. They actually have some other meetings they want as well. Next rapid. Okay, this one, exhibit E is filed under seal, F as well, G as well, H as well, and I is there though. Okay, so they want let's quickly see the date. This is August 8th. Council, I'm writing to memorialize and follow up on certain discussions between parties during August 5th meeting FIR. As requested during the August 5th meeting FIR, please confirm whether Ripple has collected, searched, and produced the following: recordings of all internal Ripple meetings, including but not limited to recordings of all hands, documents, communications memorializing XP trading restrictions imposed by management pursuant to Code of Conduct ahead of Ripple public announcement. Notes prepared. I'm just reading it through, guys. I'll explain to you guys in just a second. Notes prepared by Ripple MPs, including but not limited to. Notes prepared by Mr. Zagone related to meetings and regulators. And notes, documents, recordings of any other info accessible by Ripple MPs on Ripple's Confluence system. Is this that Wikipedia system which they mentioned to just now? Including but not limited to XP working group meeting notes. Okay, so this is not it either. So what we're looking for right now is what exactly the 5 parts are that the SEC is now requesting Ripple to produce. Because in that upper part, we can only see 3 of them out of the 5, but I don't think we're going to find it anywhere, guys. Or at least, I'm also not Wait a minute, I think it's here. Yeah, I think this is actually, I think we just found number 4, right? Wait a minute. Are we detectives? Marketing communications teams about how to talk about XRP, right? So this is interesting to me that this is basically once more on August 13th, I just opened up it. I just pressed something. Oh, the email app is opening for me, guys. So give me a second. I just accidentally opened the email app to send a message. Let me quit that. Let's take it out. I accidentally pressed Jorge Terrero's email. What if I actually sent him an email? What would happen, you think? Well, what do you think would happen if I just, because the email app, whenever I press this, it opens my email app. What would happen if I sent him an email? I do wonder about that. I mean, all the emails are there. What if you say, hey, man, I don't like you? Don't do that, by the way, but I was just wondering. Now, in here, this is August 13th, the SEC to Ripple. Hi, Joy. Ripple's position that we have failed to demonstrate basis to believe that anything relevant to the litigation was discussed at these meetings is defeated by your very next point, that you have reviewed an internal meeting concerning the legal status of XRP. To be clear, the record from witnesses is clear that Zagone and O'Gorman led the meeting and that Lear spoke at it. Who's Lear? If there is an issue more relevant to this litigation, I cannot think of one. In any event, as you know very well, it is not our obligation to identify what was discussed at the meetings, since we do not have them. We served an RFP, request for production, that included recordings on January 25th. It was and is Ripple's obligation to review those recordings and to try and reach to a compromise as to the proper scope of review of plain and responsive documents, as you did with respect to emails. So they're basically saying, hey, Ripple, you need to go look through all your videos and give us whatever is relevant, because that's, what we want. And to try and reach a compromise, though, we request that by noon Monday, so yesterday already. No, it's actually a couple weeks ago already, because this is August 13th. You provide us a list of the meetings recorded, or at minimum, of the types of meetings recorded by category, potentially, with a brief description of the meetings, if it is not obvious from the category, what one can expect to have been reasonably discussed, so that we can make requests further than the below or refine our search. And agree to search through and produce for responsiveness privilege the following meetings. So here is the SEC saying, we want these 4 kinds of meetings, and we want you to think about them. Marketing communication teams about how to talk about XRP. So literally, guys, the discussion and the shift in perspective, it is real, all right? It is real. It is not a joke anymore. It is factual now. They're looking for how exactly the marketing/communications team over at Ripple talked about XRP. This is a really important point, and I think we should actually take a screenshot of this and put it over on Twitter, because the SEC requesting the specific marketing is, once more, a really important point. Now, XP working group meetings, we don't know what was discussed there, weekly sales or XP marketing meetings, and the meeting that Mr. Garlinghouse had all hands with the company after his meeting with Chair Clayton. Wait a second, what? The meeting that Mr. Garlinghouse had all hands with the company after his meeting with Wait a minute. So, Brad Garlinghouse met with Jay Clayton in August 2018. Afterwards, they had a meeting, and that was discussed by David Schwartz. I do also wonder what exactly was discussed right there, because that is already a couple of months after the William Hinman speech, and so Mr. Clayton, I think, also made a speech about crypto. That is interesting. Interesting. Very interesting to me. All right, and let's quickly see. Who is Miss Lear? I don't know who she is, but she's mentioned a couple of times here. But Judge Netburn denied the SEC's first attempts to add Miss Lear as a custodian, not only because many of the communication would be privileged. I guess it's maybe one of the lawyers of Ripple's side, or one of the financial advisors. But this is going to take me too long to read through this one. This is from Guo Joy. I guess Ripple's side just responding back to the SEC. She's explaining how difficult it is to get all this information out there. Wow, these exhibits can sometimes be really interesting, by the way. Holy smokes. We did not agree to giving a list of those Ripple custodians. Okay, nothing too relevant in here, though. And then this is August 23rd. Also Ripple's side, I believe, because I'm seeing the Debevoise. Debevoise. That's French for you. Debevoise. Definitely. We write in response to your August 21st email. We apologize for any confusion caused by our earlier email. We confirm that we've conducted an exhaustive search for all the custodians. This is just about a week ago. Okay. The recordings that Ripple has agreed to review include discussions led by David Schwartz concerning relevant topics, e.g. decentralization of XRP, internal meetings relating to XP markets, Spring and the XP Ledger, regulatory compliance, nodes, and XRapid/ODL, meetings with MoneyGram, which are, I guess, resurfacing now as well. That's interesting. And internal training sessions concerning how to talk about XRP. Wow, so Ripple has internal training sessions on how to talk about XRP, and the SEC is looking for those. Let me write that down, actually, so I don't forget to tweet that out later. Or I can put it on Twitter already. So, the SEC... Okay, wait. How should I write that down? The SEC is looking for how XRP... Whatever. I might just actually copy this little part. Where was it now? Oh, yeah, here we go. Why can I not even... Why am I so incompetent I can't even just copy a small part here? Is this me? Oh, there we go. Okay. Whatever, I'll copy from and. That's good enough. Fine, it'll do. It'll do. All right. Whatever. It's also in the most ugliest form ever. Why am I so incompetent, guys? Look at this. I'm trying to tweet something out, and this is what it looks like. Oh, Dusty BC, what are you doing with your life? Wow. All right. It's an interesting motion. By the way, guys, let me confirm once more to you all. This is not a really strange request. It's actually a really normal request, and I wouldn't be too surprised if the judge actually says the thumbs up to SEC here, because what they're doing is just asking for some recordings of their meetings, how they talked about some stuff. It's not that strange. Let's be honest here, guys. This is not a strange request. But it would take me too long to go over all of this and read through it all, man. But I'm going to have to, I guess. Oh, my days. We're at the last page, though. This is, once more, Ripple's side to the SEC. We write it. In response, Ripple takes discovery very serious. We strongly disagree with your contention that Ripple has attempted to inappropriately shift the burden. No, not relevant. No, I'm trying to see if we can actually find anything on the meeting number 4 and 5 here. And they're also just having some disagreements with what exactly they should produce, but that's all logical. And that was the end of it all. Huh. Okay. But Ripple agrees mostly, though, to produce a lot of these things. And I'm assuming that still point number 4 is the one that was also mentioned in this list. In which exhibit is it now? Let's see here. Number 4. I'm guessing still... Wait a minute. No, it's not this one. It's whatever, guys. You guys get the picture, right? I'm assuming that the 4 points we already have, like this one, the meeting that Mr. Garlinghouse had, because if you look at it, but once more, let me actually copy this one so we can actually make sure we have the good info. The meeting that Mr. Garlinghouse had with Jay Clayton. Oh, wait a minute. Aaron, Jorgen Aldunson coming in with the $24. Let's go. Thank you very much for the support, my friend. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for doing that. I don't know why you guys still do that, though. I've already told you, you never have to send me any money. I never request any money. Don't, But thank you very much. All right. Let us see. It's a little bit above here. All right. So we have the 5 points. Where was it now? It was, I think, here. Okay. So we have the Ripple's marketing and communication team meetings, right? That's number 1. Okay. We have number 2, which is working group meetings. Okay. Number 2. The number 3 is here's the weekly sales of XP marketing meetings. weekly sales of XP marketing meetings. And number 4, I'm going to say number 4 here is the meeting that Mr. Garlinghouse had all hands with the companies after meeting with Chair Jay Clayton. And they just tried to hide it, but we found it anyway. Because see Exhibit K, Tenrero, August 13th. This is, yeah, August 13th, Jorge Tenrero. Guys, we're freaking detectives here, all right? We found something that the SEC was trying to hide. That's pretty funny, I think. Right? We can't see it differently. However, what I don't get is how can this be 5 categories when they basically seriously requested 4 of them? And, well, I mean, we could only see 3 of them. That's a little bit odd. But look at that, though, guys. Detective work. This is what it gets you. Isn't it funny? Or are you guys thinking I'm stupid? Do you guys think it could also be, however, that there's number 4 and number 5 in here that we cannot see, that they're completely different? However, they're mentioning here that the email from the SEC lawyer on August 13th. So I'm assuming that this is number 4. You guys think the same though, right? You know, and I love right now that there's 1,200 people watching, because right now when we found something, there's like a little bit like a social proof. Because if I found something like this and I'm just sitting behind my computer, nobody's watching, nobody will believe me. You know what I mean? Nobody would actually believe that we found something like that. And usually when I share something like that over on Twitter, they I don't know, they never really go anywhere. So I'm happy that you guys are all watching this together with me. All right, the SEC's efforts to reduce Ripple's search parameters for recordings did not satisfy Ripple. We just saw that in the exhibits. Ripple did not really want to comply. It informed the SEC that reviewing all hands meetings would be unduly burdensome. I don't think that's too true, though. With no way of knowing what was discussed in the recordings without listening to each recording. That's partially true as well from Ripple's side. However, since it's a $1.4 billion lawsuit, it's not too crazy if they have to watch all that through. Instead, while refusing to provide a list to the SEC of the existing recordings of all-hand meetings, Ripple requests that the SEC identify specific all-hand meetings that they might think are relevant. However, obviously from the SEC side, if the SEC does not know what was discussed in those, how can they know which ones are relevant? So I do get that from the SEC part of things, not too crazy once more. They then provided Ripple with a list of meetings described in Exhibit A, including the specific Bates numbers, after reviewing Ripple's documents production for references to the possible relevant meetings. Yet Ripple will only produce those recordings described in Exhibit A. Wait, actually somebody is... Somebody's sending me a little message. Wow. Somebody just sent me their trade that they put. Holy smokes. Do you guys actually trade crypto, by the way, guys? Holy smokes. Somebody just sent me the absolute biggest trade I've ever seen in my life. Wow. I'm at a loss for words right now. Wow. So, wow. Okay, interesting. Somebody just sent me a message on Instagram saying they just took the biggest Bybit trade ever. I'm not sure if it's a photo of what do you call it? Like Element Inspect, but holy smokes. That is crazy, this guy. Huh, okay. Oh, that's a side story, I guess. Holy smokes. I'm mesmerized a little bit. Oh, okay. Let's get back into it. Wow. Interesting. Hey, STBC. Why has the judge not addressed the issue that there's an existing court order that needs to be appealed? Well, which one? How do you mean? Just because the SEC has to give over information? Well, I mean, it's a lawsuit, right? These things have strange ways of working, I guess. So, whatever. So once more, this is just Ripple showing some not so niceness. They don't want to give up their information, which is, I don't think it's too strange. It's from both sides and not that odd, right? Ripple doesn't want to give it over. The SEC is trying to do their best. However, once more, if we had to pick a side here, I'm picking the SEC on this part. Because, once more, think about it logically from a normal human perspective. The SEC is requesting some video info of some of their meetings that they had where they discussed XRP/Ripple. I mean, if the SEC is trying to figure something out, which I don't understand why or what, and that's the relevant part here, the Ripple will come back and say this is not relevant because what exactly is the SEC seeking information for? Like, what part of their offense are they going to use this for and in? That's the key question. It's not, is it a normal request? Is it a burdensome or whatever? It is kind of burdensome because there's a lot of video coverage. Then again, it is rightfully burdensome. It's not like they're requesting them to check through 5 million messages. No, it's like, let's say about, 100 meetings, for example. They might all take an hour, okay? But 100 hours worth of work, as an example, that's not too crazy if you were to really ask me. So from that perspective, it's not a really strange request. Then again, I do wonder exactly what Ripple will respond to this, because I'm going to say, yeah, Ripple can just say it's not relevant. And that would be a difficult discussion to follow, because Ripple knows what's in those, partially. The SEC does not. And so the SEC cannot really point out why this information might be too relevant. Then again, Ripple already admitted that they might want to give it over if the SEC doesn't look for more info afterwards. Yet, that's the bigger question. Now, this part is just about the proportionalness. So right now, the SEC is explaining, well, Ripple sold over 15 billion XRP in return for cash or other considerations worth over $1.4 billion from 2013 to 2020, and seeks disgorgement of defendants' ill-gotten gains from their unregistered offers and sales of XRP, as well as civil penalties. There's no question that this is a high-stakes, high-value litigation, as the court has noted before, and that's true. Next, as to the parties' access to the information, the internal recordings are in the sole possession of Ripple, which admits to having the recordings in its possession and control. O'Gorman's testimony suggests that recordings were stored and made accessible to employees on Confluence. And Confluence is basically, as we now noted, even though the SEC tried to hide this in this document, Confluence is basically the Ripple Wikipedia from the internals. Let's actually see if we can find anything about that over on Google. Ripple, because at least from the way that I fetched it now, Ripple uses a Confluence. Hey, I found something. Oh, okay, you have to log in. Okay, I see. So this is just, I guess it's just the way where they store all their info, right? It's like a Trello type of thing. Yeah, it's where, yeah, okay. If any of you guys actually want to log into this one, I'm not going to log in online right now. But what I did is just type in Ripple Confluence like this, first link. If you guys actually type this in as well, check it out. Because you can see here, we have, no, this is something else, right? This is just, no. The Ripple Virtual Tour? Confluence on Third Apartments. No, this is something else, right? I'm assuming this is something else. I should have typed in Ripple Labs like this one. At LaCion.net wiki. What happens if I press cached? I'm going to see it on the side. What happens then? It's a snapshot of the page that appears. However, we've hit a snag. The issue should resolve on its own, but if it keeps happening, ask your admin to contact support. There's an error. I cannot use the cache right there. Okay. Because I guess it's hidden information. Okay. I'm trying my best here, trying to see if I can find something. We also have this right here. I'm just doing my best to try to find some hidden secret info here. Ooh, this is from 7 years ago. RippleEffectGroup.com, Atlassian Summit. I don't think this is too relevant. I don't think it has anything to do with Ripple, right? However, it is funny that was called Ripple Effect Group, but no, this has nothing to do with Ripple. Ripple. Let's see, Ripple Labs, maybe. We know the link already, by the way, but what? Let me quickly see, guys. Can one of you log in and see if you can find something, or if you need to have permission to actually see something? Because this apparently is Ripple's Wikipedia internally. Let me see if I can find that one for you guys again as well. Let me see. I'll open it a third time. Because I think they use like a Wikipedia. At least they try to hide it, I think. Okay, so wait, we have a couple of mentions. As we've explained previously, Confluence. Okay, so what the dumbest part of this entire thing is that in a couple of parts in the letter itself, they're trying to hide this, but then in their exhibits, they're saying, well, as we've explained previously, Confluence is a company-wide Wikipedia-like platform that is not configured to applying the search term strings we apply to emails. There are significant technical limitations as well as burden and proportionally issues in searching the platform. That said, in an effort to reach to a compromise on this issue, we agreed to review and produce any information that is responsive and non-privileged from a search that we conducted on the current workspace for any documents uploaded and edits/comments made to any pages on Confluence by the 14 deponents. We've already agreed to search Confluence for any responsive non-privileged notes of meetings with regulators by Ryan Zagon in response to the specific request that you raised and are considering your request concerning the XP working group. Let's see. Confluence does keep versions of documents. But did you guys... you know what? I'm going to log in myself. Let me see what's going to happen. Ripple Labs Confluence. Let me type it in. Let's see what happens. Okay. I'm going to log in with Google. Whatever. Let's see what's going to happen. Or do I just make an account this way? Then let me see. Create your account. All right, what happens if I log in? It says welcome. Let me skip these questions. It says here, okay, your email does not have access to Confluence on ripplelabs.atlassian.net. So, long story short, we can't get to see any of this stuff. Okay, it was worth a try, right? It was worth a try, guys. It was worth a try. We tried our best. We got nowhere. However, it was worth a try. What do we have to lose, right? It's, I guess a couple of seconds of my life. Okay, so... what am I watching? You're watching an investigation into the Ripple v. SEC lawsuit. We're trying to find a lot of different stuff, I guess. I'm not sure exactly how to tell you what you're watching. Zweihanda says, you guys should well your XRP and pay for reparations. It's a good cause. I have no idea what that means. I don't know. I don't even understand the words. Dusty, why do you think Ripple keep airdropping free coins? What? Lee Sing Kin says that. Ripple's not airdropping free coins, my friend. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, are you talking about those scams? No way. Guys, let's make one thing really clear. If you're ever seeing a Ripple official airdrop, it's fake. Yeah. For any of you that are scared or wondering, fake! Fake, 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 fake. They're trying to steal your money. Because Ripple's not doing any airdrop whatsoever. So that's not true. Okay, so the SEC has no other means of accessing this information, and Ripple has provided no evidence that the recordings are available from other sources. Therefore, this factor is strongly, in favor of production. Okay. As to the third factor, parties' resources, Ripple has 14 attorneys from 2 prominent law firms who have appeared as its counsel in this case. Notwithstanding the significant resources at Ripple's disposal, the SEC has narrowed the categories of recordings to the list of the specific meetings identified in Exhibit A, with the corresponding Bates number for most of these meetings. This should significantly lessen the financial burden to Ripple's search and produce relevant non-privileged recordings. With regards to relevance, the fourth factor, the internal meetings for which the SEC seeks recordings, are highly likely to result in relevant non-privileged documents, probative of the SEC's claims. Indeed, several deponents have already testified about internal Ripple meetings relevant to the SEC's claims, including O'Gorman, Swartz, and Viaz, where blank, see exhibits E to H, we don't know. Among other things, the recordings may reveal efforts Ripple took to increase or maintain XRP's price, or to create expectations of profits in potential XRP purchasers, both of which are relevant under Howey to prove whether XRP was offered and sold as a security. So, if you're wondering what the SEC is doing, this is the entire summary of the document. The SEC thinks that Ripple might, in any of these little videos right here, have taken some efforts to increase the value or maintain the value of the XRP price, or to create some expectation of profit for potential XP investors, both of which are, of course, bad in Howey. So let me also note that down somewhere. I'm trying to actually make sure that I have kind of a couple of tweets set in place to kind of summarize things. There we go. I've put it down. Moreover, the recordings may contain statements that may be admissions by Ripple or the individual defendants for purposes of summary judgment or trial that can be used to impeach witnesses at trial. The recordings may also contain statements that may counter Ripple's or individual defendants' defenses, including their contemporaneous understanding of the application of the security laws to offer and sales of XRP. In granting motion to compel unaired video segments of relevant broadcast interview, noting that the best evidence... wait a minute. In granting motion to compel unaired video segments of relevant broadcast interview, noting that the best evidence is the audio and video recording of what was actually said by the interviewees, what was said to them, and the manner in which the interviews were conducted. Memories of what was said at this point, 2 years are unlikely to be complete or entirely accurate. Thus, The recordings are critical to the core issue in this case and relevant under Rule 26. All right. And finally, the burden of production does not outweigh the benefits. This is especially the case where key employees, including Ripple senior executives, could not recall significant facts as the SEC described in detail in their previous Slack document. Having had over 6 months to respond since the SEC first served its relevant document request, and having failed to alert the SEC to this existence of the recordings until its own former employee was deposed in the last month, or actually last couple of days of fact discovery, Ripple should not benefit from its own failure to comply. And accordingly, because the SEC request for recordings of internal meetings described in Exhibit A is relevant and proportional to the needs of the case, the SEC respectfully requests the court to compel Ripple to produce these recordings. Oh, that was a long document. However, the situation is quite clear. So, conclusion, for all of you that are wondering, a couple of parts. One, I think the SEC is really once more shifting over in their perspective from mostly XRP being a security itself to the marketing. Then again, that kind of contradicts itself because in the last part right here, they basically are hammering on the fact that, well, they're trying to make these members of Ripple's part remember what exactly happened in the past and exactly what was said about the price, for example, of XRP at one point or another, and to kind of conform with Howie once more. So it's two-sided. Now, the SEC does not really look to actually go for a quick settlement here because how they're making it look is that they want to use this information potentially in summary judgment or later on to actually potentially seek some new witnesses in, again, court if need be. So that is not, I guess, that nice or pretty nice depending on how you look at it. But it's a logical document in the sense that the SEC is just requesting more info from Ripple, which is, in my opinion, also relevant, not too crazy. And I do think that the judge is going to either rule in favor of the SEC or at least to some degree in favor of the SEC. I had first thought that the SEC could not show relevancy yet. Now, thinking about it, they can show that it might have, it might have something in there, which Brad Garlinghouse or Chris Larson or whatever the guy said regarding XRP's sale. It could definitely be relevant in this sense here. So, my conclusion, I think that they're gonna, the SEC is gonna win a part of this one. And Ricardo says they don't have nothing, only fishing. You might call us all fishing because in the end of things, the SEC does not know what they're looking for. They know there might be something in there which they might be able to use. And David Cox says, I have a very bad feeling. We will be here a year from now having these same conversations about XRP getting ready to blow up. You know what's going to blow up then if that happens? I'm not going to say. Never mind. I will not make any inappropriate jokes. But I would not be happy if we're going to be here in another year from now just talking about the same stuff. From a certain perspective, 1 year, let's look at it like this. If we knew that the deadline for the SEC v. Ripple case was exactly 1 year from now, I wouldn't even be sad because that would mean I have time right now to buy everything, buy my freaking, entire stock full. I'll go to the bank, take out a loan, do some crazy stuff because then in 1 year the price is most likely going to skyrocket. But it's the question of not exactly knowing when it's going to be done and over for that destroys us. Now, from a certain perspective, we all know Ripple's technology and this case are most likely very bullish factors for XRP. So ultimately, I'll still just be hoarding on every single chance I get. But, I guess let's just see what's going to happen, right? A little bit later today. Maybe we're going to see some crazy conclusions by the judge, which could be really bullish already. Maybe. So, for all of you that are wondering about it, in about 1 hour from now, I'm going to be starting up another live stream, and we're going to be kind of easing into the event because the event is going to start 6 p.m. But of course, I want to call in a little bit early. I want to have everything in place, and I want to discuss with you guys exactly what the hearing is going to be about and whatnot. And of course, it's just going to be a chat room for you guys all to chat in because I'm already thinking there's going to be at least, let's say, 5,000 people once more, maybe even maybe 10 if we're lucky a little bit. So just wanted to quickly make that clear. I think it's about to be another big event. In terms of conclusions, we cannot draw anything just quite yet, except for the fact that the SEC has put up a request at the last minute. Last minute. That was not that nice. We have found some hidden juice, though, which I like to see. I always like to see that type of stuff. But I really can't make too many words foul in it from that perspective once more. It's like, What exactly do the SEC want with all this stuff? We don't know. I don't think the SEC even knows what exactly they're looking for. They're just trying to reach a little bit and see if they can find something somewhere. That's the way I like to put it. That's exactly how I like to put it. They're trying to see if they can find something somewhere. Oh, that sounds beautiful, because that's exactly what it is. And if you're wondering, guys, I still have my XRP trade open right to this day. This is once more over on Bybit, where right now, I believe for a couple more days, you guys can get a $3,600 bonus. So if you have not checked out Bybit, a link is down below. Make sure you check it out. It's the exchange that I use. And if you haven't checked it out just quite yet, make sure you check out my Instagram. A link is down below. Instagram is just for fun. I don't know. You don't have to check it out if you don't want to. It's like I post some my own videos on there, but also just some memes and some fun stuff. Just check it out here, for example. I posted some. I laugh about this stuff. This makes my days good. You know that? These types of memes. Just trade offer. I receive $3 million. You receive a JPEG of a rock. That sounds like a good deal to some people, huh? Because that's the NFT space right now for a good part. And Yusuf Rashid said, thank you for the 17 dirhams. Hey, dirhams. I'll be back in Dubai in a couple of weeks from now. Love the vids, man. Can we get a similar Solana case to XRP by Q1 2022? Me and Solana did it, right? Ooh. That's such a difficult little question. Solana is so different to XRP, though. And I mean, even now, we discussed before about the fact that in William Hinman's speech, he basically disregarded the entire history of Ethereum's sale. He was like, well, if we disregard the sale, then Ethereum is fine. Maybe they can actually do that to XRP too in some degree, where it's like, well, if we exclude a couple of parts, then it's fine. It's just, it's a freaking game, man. I don't know why they pick winners and losers like that. It's just stupid. Dusty, could you make a new Bybit video? Yes, I will do that pretty shortly here. I'll make another kind of update video, a quick one, because I made an hour-long tutorial, but not many people like to watch an hour long. So I'm going to try and make another 15-minute tutorial on how to use Bybit. Once more, guys, if you don't know how it works, don't try or don't push your luck. Let me say it like that. However, all right, one thing we pointed out, there's key levels to trading. So, for example, a key level is right here, right here, right here. You can see how these things bounce around. Very, very often, guys, very often they bounce around key levels, and that's how you make money. That's how it works in trading. Very often, it's not that crazy hard to predict. Let me say it differently, though. It is pretty hard. Unless you know what you're doing, then very often you can use it to your advantage. Let me say it like that. Because it's still not easy. Oh, I shouldn't make it sound easier than it is. It's not easy. A lot of people lose money if you're just going into it blind. Which is also why I never made a tutorial before, because I thought, yeah, if you don't know how leverage trading works, you shouldn't get into it. Then again, right now there's $3,600 worth of bonuses. Very often it can be really worth it to just, try some stuff out because it's free. You guys get the picture I'm trying to paint? Let me share with you guys the Instagram link, by the way. How do I share that? Let me see here. So you guys can check out my Instagram. There we go. I'll share with you the Instagram link so you guys can follow that one. And the Bybit link I'll also share in the chat box so you guys can check it out for yourself if you want to. Let me copy this. There we go. 3650. There we go. There we go. Could you explain how to claim the rewards? Yes. I'll also explain that if I make a tutorial video. It's actually really simple. All right. So once more, guys, I'll be back in about an hour from now, where we're going to be talking about the Ripple V. By the way, the price is doing good over the last couple of hours. Look at this, by the way. You got to know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. You got to know, pump it up. When does the hearing start? 6 p.m. And so I'm going to prepare some stuff now for about an hour. We'll be back and we're going to kind of do the preparations and the groundwork. Make sure you press this like button. And guys, make sure you set your alarm for about an hour. And now let's say about 2 hours from now. Make sure you're there a couple of minutes earlier. And if you are not subscribed just quite yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel right freaking now, because you want to be there or be square when the hearing starts, all right? So make sure you press the like button, because then we're going to get to 500 likes, which is cool. There have been 16,000 people who watched this stream. Yeah, we only have 400 likes. Doesn't matter, but it's still, if you want to support the channel, you could do it by just pressing the like button. And guys, make sure you are subscribed, because in about 2 hours, I just dropped my phone. In about 2 hours from now, we're going to be doing one of the most important streams of the entire Ripple v SEC case. You want to be there or be square? And as you've already noticed, if you're not subscribed, you can't even chat in the chat box. All right, so make sure you are subscribed. And yeah, I'm going to tweet some stuff out soon. Make sure you have the notification bell on, guys. It could even be, guys, understand, it could be that you're not going to get a notification from my next stream, because I'm not sure exactly. The notifications are bugged. Be back here in about 2 hours from now, maybe 2.5, 6 p.m. Dutch time, 5 p.m. London time, 12 p.m. EST. Be here or you're going to miss it. Be here or you're going to miss it. Just refresh the channel a couple of times. You'll see, all right? So just quickly letting you guys know. If you have the bell notification on, though, you're good, I think. But if you just check back. I'll see you guys again in another one, all right? Thank you all so much for watching and stopping by. I really appreciate every single one of you just stopping by and saying hi. It was really fun. Interesting document was supposed today, but I'll keep you guys updated, all right? If you have any other things you want to know about, just follow me over on Twitter. I'll make sure you guys get all the info that you need over on there. Right now, I'm having a tweet kind of open. Wait a minute. Okay, no, we already covered that one. And once more, guys, make sure you follow me over on Twitter, DDustBC. I'll share everything in the meantime there. UK 5 p.m. UK 5 p.m. Let me look at the time zones for you guys. EST to Amsterdam. Can I not do it? There's not a way to put every time zone in the. No, it's not possible. Whatever. It is going to be 6 p.m. Dutch time, Amsterdam time, 5 p.m. London time, 12 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. And you just do the calculating for yourself, right? From different places of the world, you'll be able to find it out. All right. See you guys later.